Hi, I'm Cheryl Fox. Welcome to On the Red Dot. This week, we continue with our series, It Takes a Village, where we explore what it takes for an individual who's going through a crisis to get back on his feet again. Bernard Yuchenik's life went off the rails over an emotion, one that both you and I have experienced, anxiety. Except for Bernard, his anxiety escalated until it became a disorder that turned his life topsy-turvy. This is his story. Four years ago, 62-year-old Bernard Yuchenik, better known as Bernie, plunged into the lowest low he's ever experienced in his life, leaving him restless, especially at night. For more than 2 months, he survived on very little sleep.
I would go to bed maybe 10, 11 at night, but I wouldn't fall asleep until 3 or 4. And then I would wake up before the alarm went off. So maybe I was getting an hour and a half or an hour's sleep.
One night in 2011, tired and frustrated, Bernie took a handful of pills to try and sleep. He swallowed at least 10 pills of antidepressants when the doctor's prescription recommended only up to 3 tablets to be consumed each time.
When you wake up at these hours and you see your wife sleeping happily, snoozing away, you're almost jealous. You know, you want to get some relief somehow. So recklessly, stupidly, I took enough medication to make sure that I fell asleep.
Fortunately for Bernie, his wife Z noticed that something was amiss.
Bernie? I went to work one day, and then when I came back, he was still sleeping. So I talked to him, and he responded. So I know that he's still okay. But the next day, when I want to go to work, he's still sleeping. So I decided to call for an ambulance because he was very weak.
After staying in bed for almost 2 days, Bernie was warded at Mount Elizabeth Hospital. After a week there, he was diagnosed with anxiety disorder. Anxiety is similar to the feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease. This feeling morphs into a disorder when it affects one's ability to function, whether at work or in a social situation. Anxiety disorder is not an uncommon mental condition in Singapore. According to the latest study conducted by the Institute of Mental Health in October 2013, Bernie is one of 100,000 people who suffer from this condition here. A familiar face in Singapore's food industry for over 20 years, Bernie was best known for his popular Western food stall, Botak Jones. The American, who's now a Singapore citizen, opened his first outlet in Tuas in 2003. Within a decade, more than a dozen outlets mushroomed island-wide. With success came change. In 2006, Bernie's business took in additional investors, each bringing in their own ideas. These ideas were vastly different from what Bernie had in mind for the company. We caught up with Bernie to hear his story. When did you realize that your anxiety was affecting your work?
Either late 2006 or early 2007. I must have said or done something, but the people closest to me, the people who had actually worked so hard to get Botak Jones where it was, we sat down outside, even my wife was there, and they said, look, it's probably better if you try and get out of the kitchen. And they were very frank with me. I mean, one person once said I'm self-absorbed, and I never could understand that, because anything I did about me was for the good of something else, like the business.
If there was one person who knew Bernie through and through, it was Fauzia, or better known to those around her as Z, Bernie's wife of 17 years.
When he's with me, with his loved one, with his friends, he's a very lovable guy. He cares a lot. But when he's at work, he's very strict. And he's a stickler for perfection.
How did it feel, Bernie, when you felt as if you're losing control of Botat Jones?
When it became more about people getting involved with how we were doing business and changing, if you will, my blueprint, that's when I felt anxiety.
Bernie, what are the warning signs for an anxiety attack?
In my case, I would perspire profusely if I was going to get into a situation where I was anxious. You get a feeling here, right here at this part of your neck, you get a feeling here. I liken it to, let's say you were going to do a bungee jump for the first time. Now, if you're standing at the top and you're looking down, you get this feeling in your stomach. Now, you can call it fear, you can call it excitement, you can call it whatever, but the same feeling is anxiety.
In 2011, Bernie sold off his shares in Botat Jones. He felt that he had lost all sense of purpose amidst mounting disagreements over how the business should be run. At its peak, Bernie didn't leave his home for over 3 weeks. However, Z reckons that their decision to sell Botat Jones was for the better.
Initially, when he wanted to sell Botat Jones, I told him not to because we worked so hard for it. We are at the brink of something big. But then when he said he had no purpose anymore, I realized I had to let it go. Because if I don't let Botat Jones go, I will lose money. I was very sure of that. He couldn't go on with the company. So a lot of people don't understand why when he gave up Botat Jones. We gave up Botat Jones to save Bernie's life.
All throughout this period of uncertainty, Bernie admits that he's fortunate to have his wife by his side.
I think it would be difficult. If I had never known her, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't be around now. Maybe I wouldn't have had anyone to give me not just the support, but sometimes tough love to get over some obstacles.
Life hasn't always been easy for the both of them. Bernie's anxiety disorder took its toll on both their peace of mind and their finances. However, in these trying times, Z did her best to be a pillar of support for him.
In the morning, Bernie need to see me give him a big smile because that give him assurance that everything is going to be okay. And second thing is that I have to let him just lay there in bed for about half an hour or so just to get over his anxiety. I'll be there with him, just hold his hand until everything calms down. So that helps a lot. I don't need to be rich. What is important is that my husband is happy. Yeah. And that we're happy together.
After the break, Bernard takes concrete steps to reach out and overcome his condition. Will he succeed? Stay tuned for that. Hi, welcome back. Local food icon Bernard Uchenick struggled with anxiety disorder for several years. For a long time, he felt that his plight was hopeless. Fortunately for him,